Welcome, Mr. President, to our show.
Thank you, Steve.
Let's talk politics. You're a political science and political history buff and teacher, professor. We just had the Republican primary in Florida just not too long ago, and Florida had to pay a price for moving the date forward. Was it a good price to pay? We lost half of our delegates.
I think it was a great price to pay. It was a win-win proposition for the state. We have a big say in who will be the presidential nominee against Barack Obama in 2012. All the attention that was paid to Florida of those 10-day period, and that meant a lot of dollars being spent in our state. But most importantly, it's almost like free advertising. Think if you're in Chicago or New York, you name it, and you look down at the presidential candidates in their shirt sleeves roaming across Florida. Wonderful weather. I thought it was a great thing. But I want to be a part of the nominating process, not the coronation process. And if we went late in the process, we'd be late to the game. We gave Iowa, we gave New Hampshire, we gave South Carolina the opportunity to shrink the field, but Florida clearly wanted a big say in who the nominee was, not just who's going to be nominated officially at the convention in Tampa.
You've been teaching about Florida politics at the college level and observing it. As a contender, as a successful candidate, did you learn anything different about Florida politics and so forth in this primary?
Well, I think that the candidates learned a lot more than we did. I mean, you and I have been in this business for 20 years doing this. But the candidates realized that Florida is truly that bellwether state. It's a very diverse state. We have not only a Hispanic population, but broken up within Haitian, of course, Puerto Rican, of course, Cuban. I mean, this is a mega state, and if you win Florida, I believe you'd be the next president of the United States. But they learned it's not a monolithic state. It is a very diverse state, and I think this is why we wanted that primary early. If you can win in Florida, you can be the next president of the United States, but you have to withstand the slings and arrows, the fact that it's such a big state, the grind and meeting so many people, and ability to communicate with so many diverse interest groups. I thought it was a great learning experience for all of us.
Does that mean that you think it might be over, that Mitt Romney is going to be the nominee since he won Florida?
Well, I know we're going to talk about gambling later. So if I'm a betting man, I would say yes, I think he's going to win. But I think it's a long slog. Not all states are winner take all. But one of the reasons why those candidates came here, it was winner take all, a big prize. Both Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney started the week tied. Mitt Romney rose to the occasion, and that's why I think he'll be the favorite to win. When you look for great leaders in tight spots, what happens? You want to see if they rise to the occasion. Clearly, Mitt Romney did in both debates, first in Tampa, later in Jacksonville, and I think that's why he won so well. He proved he can handle the national spotlight in a good way, and taking on maybe the best debater in America, that being Newt Gingrich. Let's
talk about the 2012 session. It's your last session as Senate President. We know you got to pass a budget. You've got to do something with redistricting. Let's hit a couple of quick questions on those. They're very important. Let's talk about the budget. You mentioned recently that you were about ready to make your allocations to the budget for education, for health care, for transportation, et cetera. Does that mean that you are getting more confidence that you might get a good revenue forecast that you can rely on rather than having to wait till later?
Well, I'm still hesitant on that, candidly. I want to make sure that whatever budget we finalize is going to be a consistent budget that we can rely on starting July 1st, the first day of the new budget year. But let's remember where we're at. 6 months ago, the revenue estimator said we'd have $1 billion surplus. Now we have $1.5 billion shortfall. But I'm going to work with the number that came out in January and show respect for that. And I think you'll find the governor's and the House budget will be very similar to the Senate budget. And the reason for that, it looked a lot like the Senate budget from last year. We're showing a lot of respect for K-12 education. We're showing a lot of respect to the governor, how to make those tough calls on Medicaid. But we're going to offer a balanced budget, don't raise taxes, and we want to make sure that we're staying business friendly. So those allocations, I think, will be consistent, and I'm looking forward to working with the House and the governor again to make sure that Florida businesses know that they're going to have a stable government in Tallahassee. If it takes a little bit longer, so be it. But remember, we're 2 months ahead of time. Usually we don't even get up here until March. We got here in January starting our session. But I think we can work it out, but we just need to make sure that people check their egos at the door and we work this out in a thoughtful way, best for all Floridians.
I'm getting the vibes that you feel like that in the end, the budget often is an end-game kind of bill, that there won't be any huge differences between the House and the Senate. That will be hard to resolve.
Well, as you put your fist up, I hope not. And there could be. You know, I remember last year, I know there's a lot of talk about that. Nothing changed the last couple hours. The big issues were handled: Medicaid and pensions, balanced budget, no new taxes, putting on constitutional amendments to have a smart cap, meaning limiting government spending. Those are the big issues. And we're focused on two items, like you had said, the budget and reapportionment. The reapportionment looks good. I'm sure we'll talk about that. And the budget can work out. But again, I don't want to leave any money on the sidelines. If we can help our schools, if we can help our healthcare system, heck, if we can help our road system, that's a good thing. And so we want to maximize the dollars available and provide those opportunities. And again, we're here early. There shouldn't be any rush to judgment, especially when you're spending other people's money. And we're going to always keep that in the back of our mind.